Andrew Tate
former
and Tristan
brand, which he is
on
now disassociated
Balenciaga.
with him. Shout out to Kanye. Balenciaga.
Yeah, so anyone who's not familiar with what has happened, they put up a advertising campaign with children holding bondage teddy bears, and then people started looking deeper into their images and noticing that books in the background were written by pedophiles, and they were finding other names in the background of their images that you Google, that person has taken illicit photos of children, etc. So basically, Balenciaga is rife head to toe with these little hidden cookies, all linking to
child molestation,
and pedophilia.
Let me tell you something. If I have a little girl, I would never let her do any kind of modeling because that business is just filled with pedophiles and degenerates. But if I sent her on a photo shoot, thought my little girl's going to shoot for Balenciaga, that's good, and told her mother to go take her down to the photo studio, and she came back holding teddy bears in BDSM sexual bondage gear, I'd lock and load.
I don't think many people understand why this is happening. The chance of it being a coincidence, not just the child. You know, the thing is, I'm going to give Balenciaga the benefit of the doubt. A child, a little girl holding a bondage teddy bear is distasteful and is clearly promoting pedophilia. But you could perhaps argue in a court of law that it was just, they weren't thinking and they didn't realize, perhaps. But multiple campaigns having books written by people who were either making pedophilic content or arrested and charged for murder of a child or pedophilia. That is not a coincidence. You can't argue that away as oops. You can't argue that away as I wasn't
tried
thinking.
very hard.
You can't argue that away. You've tried very hard to put in that many deliberate references to a particular mindset, which obviously the world finds repulsive. Therefore, by extension, you have to understand that if it was done on purpose, which as we've just deciphered it must have been, why are they doing this? And I don't think many people understand why a brand like Balenciaga would so openly show the world that they are trying to promote pedophilia.
Tell them.
I'll tell them why. So some could argue that they're trying to advertise it and encourage it. Normalize. And that is the case. That is what they're trying to do. But it actually goes a level deeper than that. Satanists, people who worship Satan, believe in karmic retribution. They believe that they can suffer the consequence of lying and tricking you. So the very simple premise is this. If I sell poison apples and I write apples and you come and eat one, I poisoned you. But if I sell poison apples and I have a sign that says apples, they're poison, and you come and eat one, you committed suicide. I haven't murdered you. You've committed suicide.
That's what Satanists believe.
Satanists believe by telling you what they're doing, they don't have any karmic retribution. I'm not responsible for the I'm not responsible for all the negative fallout from my actions if they understood what I was doing and allowed me to do it. This is why they show you and tell you what they're doing. If I show you and tell you that we are pedophiles and you continue to buy our products, then you're supporting pedophilia. And you're obviously okay with us being pedophiles. If I do it hidden behind your back, then you can argue and say, I didn't know they were pedophiles. But by showing you, I've shown you I'm a pedophile. You still want to wear my t-shirt. So obviously what I'm doing is okay. And this karmic retribution model and the way that Satanists view the world, and when I say Satanists, I genuinely mean people who worship real Satan. The people who are in charge of these brands and in charge of the Western world and in charge of the Matrix genuinely worship Satan. When you understand the idea of karmic retribution, you can apply that to so many scenarios. They're doing this with everything. Karmic retribution isn't just about Balenciaga. Let's look at the recent scam of COVID. They made it very clear to you it was bullshit. They made it very clear that the virus isn't going to hurt you.
They made it clear that they didn't listen. They disobeyed the mask laws.
Yep, they made it very clear to you it was all stupid. So that when you still did it, they could say, well,
we showed them.
We showed them it was dumb, but they did it anyway.
I'm going to drop a very subtle one in there that you probably don't want me to mention. I'm going to mention it anyway. If there was a certain world leader who is playing a role right now integral to, how can I exactly put this? If there was a world leader right now who was playing the role of a hero when in fact he was a villain, wouldn't it be funny if we publicly gave him an Oscar
for
playing a role?
For acting as something as he isn't.
Now, Google which world leaders have recently been handed Oscars in your face.
It's karmic. This is the whole point. They have to show